Hello, folks. Welcome to the Mindset Artistry podcast. I'm your host, DiPaolo. This is episode number 9. Thank you for joining. If you are listening for the first time, welcome. If you have listened to us before, we appreciate you coming back. We appreciate you being part of the mindset movement. The mindset movement is all about your mindset, sharpening your mindset, becoming a better person, personal development, and that journey and how important that is to our lives and to the lives of the people around us. So thank you. This episode is going to be about pride and ego, friend or foe. Pride and ego are very, very powerful things. They can be very bad at times, and they can also be very good at times. And a lot of times that gets overlooked and it's misunderstood. So we are going to dive deep into this today, talk about both of those sides of it. And it's going to be a really good episode. But first, I want to read you a quote. And it's from Tiger Woods. You're going to make mistakes. The key is to learn from them as fast as possible and make changes as soon as you can. That's not always easy to do because of ego and pride get in the way, but you have to put all that aside and look at the bigger picture. This quote's awesome, and it's perfect for what I want to talk about today. And he is so right about this. And here's a guy who was ultra successful in his career, in his life, trendsetter. He made golf cool, especially, for my age bracket. I looked at golf as, a bunch of just kind of like old guys with, there's a couple cool ones, but not many, right? And then Tiger Woods comes along. You got this, jack guy. He's diesel. He's driving the ball 400 yards. Good looking dude. He's in all these different commercials, doing all this cool stuff. And, did he have his problems in his life and some things? And did the wheels fall off a little bit? No pun intended with the car accidents. But, yeah. So, and that's what life's all about. And this is a great quote because he's kind of touching a lot of these different things. I mean, what he experienced in his life, he's seen it all. And pride and ego, were a big part of some of the major mistakes that he made in his life and some of the horrible falls that he did have. But I do love this quote. And, again, we're going to dive really deep into this as it pertains to the mindset and just some of the dangers of it, and also some of the great things that can come from pride and ego. So, first, usually when you hear about pride and ego, it does get talked about in a very negative consequence, and usually that's very right, because usually pride and ego aren't used the right way, and usually there is a very negative undertone to those. And here's the thing when it comes to this. Pride and ego can get you in a lot of trouble. They can put you in a lot of danger. And these temporary reactions to a temporary situation can have a very permanent result, which can lead to, catastrophic things. It could lead to death. It could lead to severe injury, can lead to going to jail for a long time. It can lead to, the destruction of, companies, families, countries. The list goes on and on and on. And pride and ego play a big part in this. And a lot of times we're not as mindful of this as we should be. And as, Tiger Woods said in that quote, it is something you need to learn from. It is something you need to sharpen and get better. And that is hard to do. We will make mistakes for sure, but we need to learn from them. And a lot of times our pride and our ego can make us look past what we know is right, and can make us look past what we know might be the right reaction to something. And instead we let our pride and our ego step in, and it puts us in very bad situations with very negative consequences, and very bad things can happen. And I see it all the time. And a perfect example is you see these people in road rage situations, and it gets so out of control that people are shooting and killing each other. They're running each other off the road. They're getting out and having fist fights. The list goes on and on. There's consequences to that. Especially if you shoot and kill someone, you kill that person. you're destroying their family. Now someone maybe is growing up without a father, a mother, so a son, a daughter, or sibling, whatever it is. Who knows whatever else, their work, who they're involved with, these different things. You're destroying lives, destroying families, taking a life over something that's very, very stupid. On the other side of that, of course you're going to get caught. Dash cameras all over the streets, all these different things, ring cameras in the street. So yeah, now you're going to go to jail, and there's a whole other bunch of people's lives in between that. Your family, your friends, this and that, your loved ones, their lives are messed up and destroyed now because of this. You're in jail. That other person's dead. For what? Because you were rushing, you were trying to get somewhere faster. This person, maybe didn't drive, they weren't paying attention, they were going too slow for you, whatever it is. Something that doesn't even really matter in the grand scheme of things of life. If you look at like life as a whole, this one encounter in one situation in your life turned out to be something that will be so detrimental to you and your loved ones, and that is not worth it, right? And that is all pride and ego driven. If you have the right mindset, if you have patience, if you're calm, if you're looking at the bigger picture, the things that really are important in life, you can look at that situation and say, this isn't worth it, whatever, man, just go, get ahead. It's not worth either one of us, making a permanent decision here that's going to affect our lives, other people's lives, putting us in danger, putting other people in danger for something that's so insignificant and stupid that it doesn't make sense. And that's just a great example of road rage, because it's something that most of us can relate to. Most of us are on the road at some point in our life, whether we're driving or not. And it's big, and I feel like it's getting worse. I see it every day, and I try to avoid situations as much as I possibly can, and keep a very level head and a calmness about me. And it is hard. I mean, some people are just out of control, and usually it's because they're unhappy, they're late, they're living in chaos, they're in a rush, or who knows, maybe they do have something real serious going on in their life, like that we don't know about, right? But anyway, your paths cross at a certain time, and then something big can really happen from it, and it's not worth it. And it's not just driving, it's walking down the street, it's in a store, and people being rude and doing different things, and you see really bad things happen to people all the time that can be totally avoided if people just took a step back, breathe, understand, this isn't worth it. This isn't worth us being in danger, or putting other people in danger, or putting ourselves in a bad situation. And if we understood that, if we were a little bit more patient, empathetic, understanding of other people, and tried to work with each other and tried to help each other, rather than going into this with this whole like pride and ego and pounding your chest and I'm right, you're wrong, and this and that, a lot of these issues could be avoided. A lot of these issues can be just brushed off and say, hey man, or hey whoever, I'm sorry, look, it is what it is, let's just get past this, who cares, I'm never going to see you again in my life. And it's not worth us getting in trouble, doing something stupid, doing something bad, doing something that we cannot reverse. We can't get that time back. We can't do this over, and it's just not worth it, right? So you have to understand that. You have to learn from that. And you know what, like Tiger Woods is saying in this, you have to learn from your mistakes. So maybe you did something in the past where you were in a situation like this, and you put yourself in danger or someone else, and something bad happened. And now like, hey, I'm not going to ever do that again, or that was a close call, I shouldn't have done that, but that could have got way worse. And that's the thing, we don't realize how bad and how much these things can escalate. And you would just think in your mind like, oh, that'll never happen to me, but you don't know, right? Like, you don't know that person, what's going on, if they do have a gun or a knife or something, and you just met them on the wrong day, and they lose their shit, and they stab you, they shoot you, they do this, like, not worth it. It's not worth it. So when I leave the house every day, for whatever reason, whatever I'm doing, I almost got to give myself like a pep talk, like, look, you're going to encounter difficult situations today. It's how you react to it that matters, and not letting people dictate your life. And hey, people are going to be who they are, and it is what it is, and it's not worth you getting hurt because someone did something. Then your pride and ego jumps in and says, oh no, you shouldn't do that, or this and that, blah, blah, blah. Like, at the end of the day, like, listen, unless someone's really, really putting you in danger, trying to really, really cause physical harm to you, then we have to understand that some things just aren't worth it, and we maybe need to be the bigger person, keep your distance, stay away, or just not engage and not put yourself in a situation that's going to make it worse. Okay, so we need to be mindful of that. We need to think about this, and it's part of your mindset to prep yourself that you are going to deal with these situations. It's inevitable, right? Like, this is one of the things I tell myself every single morning, that I don't know what's going to happen today when I walk out that door. I'm going to deal with difficult situations. I'm going to deal with difficult situations at work, in the public, on the road. And it's how I react to it that really matters, not what's actually going on, these outside factors that I cannot control. It's how I react to it that matters. And if everyone thought that way, it would really, really help, because then overall, collectively, we have that mindset and we avoid terrible situations and scenarios and consequences that can happen from this, right? Oh, where I'm going with that too is, like I said, yeah, there are certain situations where we do have to engage, right? There are certain situations where we do have to maybe step in and deal with something. And there are times that people are trying to put you in danger, trying to hurt you, going out of their way to actually do these things. So when I'm not saying be a pushover, let people hurt you, rob from you, steal from you, bully you, or any of these things. That's not what I'm saying here. Like, you can't always just turn the other cheek. There are times where you do have to defend yourself. You do have to be assertive, and the more prepared you can be for that, the better. And then that prepares you for these situations. But make no mistake, that's not what I'm saying here, that you should be completely passive and let people, take advantage, get over on you, maybe even hurt you, or someone else that you love. But these are the situations, and yeah, that's different. You have to, be a different person in that situation, and defend yourself, make sure that you are safe. And if there's something that you can do to make sure that you are safe, do it. Okay. So I do want to make that transition into the next step, because there are different levels, right? Like, there's something stupid that could just be avoided, but then there's very serious confrontations where something is directly directed towards you, that you may be in danger, that you are going to have to react the right way to get out of that situation, maybe alive, maybe not hurt, maybe whatever. And you need to have very good situational awareness of that. And you also need to know to not put yourself in bad situations where you are putting yourself in certain danger. Now, listen, things happen in the public and just, randomly. I get it. But there are people who do put themselves in very dangerous situations. Stop looking at your phone. Get your head out of your phone too, right? Be aware of what's going on. Be conscious of what's going on. And these are just some certain things that you can do to maybe avoid these situations even more, but be as prepared for that type of thing as much as you possibly can. Be aware of what's going on, your surroundings. If you see someone who does look a little off or is doing something, you should be very, very mindful of that and keep your distance. Okay. So that's the transition into the next part of this, where pride and ego can actually be a good thing. And this gets looked past a lot in life, because we always look at pride and ego as negative. We always look at pride and ego as things that are going to hurt you or hurt someone else, or that we shouldn't have. And that's not true. Like, being prideful of who you are, what you've accomplished in your life, what you're capable of, that's not a bad thing. Okay. It's when you take pride to a level of ignorance, when you take pride to a level of, maybe lashing out on people, when you take pride to that level of, cockiness and that kind of thing, then it's a problem. But when we should all have pride. Like, I'm prideful of who I am. I am prideful of what I've accomplished in my life. I am prideful of my name. I am prideful of my reputation. I am prideful of my company, my companies that I built, my results that I offer to my customers and clients. I'm prideful of my family. I'm prideful of my son, my wife, my family, my friends, all these different things. things right. So having pride isn't a bad thing. It's just how you use that pride, which usually gets people in trouble. Okay. So that's what we need to understand here, because there are different levels of this. Pride isn't necessarily a bad thing, because pride is confidence. Pride is being proud of who you are, being proud of what you have accomplished in life. And you need to have that to accomplish more. You need to appreciate who you are, love who you are, be prideful of who you are, be proud of who you are, so that you can continue to do good things, so you continue to accomplish great things, have more success, right? But the thing is, if you aren't proud of yourself, if there are things that you know you could be doing better, if you're not proud of the person that you have been in your life, well, then this goes back to what Tiger Woods was talking about. Those are the things that you need to fix. They're the mistakes that you need to learn from and get better. They're the things, the lessons that you need to take and say, hey, I'm not that person anymore. This is what I'm aspiring to be. This is what I will be when I continue this, mindset journey, this personal development journey that I'm on, what this podcast is all about. And I'm proud of who I'm going to be in the future. That's a great way to look at it too, right? You might not be where you want to be right now. You may not have accomplished all the things that you want to accomplish in your life, but you need to look at your future self and say, I'm proud of that person that I will be. Whatever it is, like maybe you want to lose some weight, right? Like maybe you're a little overweight right now. You can look at the future and say, hey, look, I want to get down to 200 pounds, and I'm proud of that person. I know I can do that. I know the work that I need to do to get there and put in to be that, and I'm proud of that person, and I'm proud of that person now because I'm doing the work now. I'm working at it every day. I'm making the right changes in my life. I'm making the right sacrifices in my life, and I'm going to be that person. Be proud of yourself. It's so important in life, because it's so easy to get down on yourself. It's so easy to, get in a rut and get depressed about things. And, we're not told enough that, hey, look, like even little incremental wins and progress that you have in your life of you working on yourself and getting better, that matters, and it needs to be celebrated. You need to pat yourself on the back. You need to be aware of that, because when you see that and you see those little wins and you see that progress, that's how you keep building on it, and that's how you keep getting better. So be proud of yourself. Be proud of who you're becoming. Be proud of the positive changes and things that you have going on in your life that you know are going to make you better, that are going to make you more successful, that are going to make you hit the goals and turn you into that person that you want to be. So that kind of pride is great. And anyone who tells you any different, that pride is just bad all around, they just don't understand this. And maybe they never will, and that's fine. But as long as you do, that's all that matters. Be proud of yourself. Be proud of what you've done, what you've endured, what you've accomplished, and be proud of your future self. I have actually a thing on my phone. It says on there, remember your future. It's actually my screensaver along with one other thing. Remember your future. And then it says, life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. And that's something I try to remind myself every day. Remember your future. Remember your future you. And that sounds crazy. It sounds silly. Like usually when you say remember, it's something that happened in the past. But when you can remember your future you, then that stops you from maybe doing something right now in the present time that's going to alter that future you, right? So it's like, again, going back to health. If you say, hey, I want to lose this weight, I want to lose 40 pounds, I want to be at 200 pounds, and then, you go to get some food and you're about to order a pizza and cheese fries. Well, no. Remember your future. Remember that 200-pound version of you that eats healthier, that doesn't eat junk, that doesn't, fall into eating bad every single day. Like, you got to understand it, but remember that. Remember the future you isn't going to be that future you if right now the present you makes that bad decision, falls into that instant gratification versus delayed gratification. And that's what it's all about. That's what the future you is all about, right? It's delayed delayed gratification, knowing that I'm going to delay this enjoyment right now for the pleasure of what I'm going to have and what I'm going to be, knowing that I'm going to be a better person in the future. Right now, I got to make these sacrifices. Right now, I have to make these changes, these adjustments in my life, right? So that's a great way to look at it, but be also very proud of that and be proud of what you're doing right now and in who you're going to be. It's super, super, super important, right? And it's a big part of excellence, okay? Being proud of yourself, having pride is a big part of actual excellence, right? Like if you're trying to achieve excellence at something, that means that you are consistently working on bettering yourself. You are consistently working on improving your skills, improving your situation, learning more, leveling up, all these different things. But you can't have that. You can't do that unless you're chasing something. If you're chasing that excellence and you're chasing that, you need to be prideful of that and be prideful of what you have accomplished so far that got you to where you are right now, and that's going to get you to those other next levels. So great way to look at it, right? And just confidence, right? Having confidence in life is so important in every situation, in whatever your career is. If you're a family person, your spouse, your children, whoever it is. So if you're trying to be a leader, if you're in a leadership position, anything whatsoever, you need to have confidence. And here's the thing: if you don't believe in yourself, no one else is going to believe in you. Plain and simple. So you need to believe in yourself first before other people can believe in you. You need to believe in yourself first before other people are going to put their trust in you. So having confidence is a big part of life. It is so important. I've seen it so many times in my life. When you do not have confidence, it's so much harder to do anything. It's so much harder to accomplish anything. Even the daily, day-to-day, mundane things become difficult when you're not a confident person. You will go into a rut. You will be depressed, and you will not understand why. But you need to work on things that work on your confidence. You need to work on things that make you feel good about yourself. And then that correlates to everything else in your life. And you see it. I'm married now, but, when back in the day, if I was out trying to find a girl, this and that, and women smell that on you. Like, they smell confidence on a man. Like, if you're down, you're looking down, you don't look people in the eyes. Like, people see that, and you're not trustful. No one wants to be around that, okay? In sales, like, you go out on a sales call, and you're sitting there and you're not confident and you're fumbling over your words and you're nervous and all these other things, that person's not buying from you. Why would they? Right? Confidence is so important in your life, but pride is a part of confidence for sure. Be prideful of who you are. Okay, look, at the end of the day, with all of this stuff, whether it's the negative side of pride, whether it's the positive side of pride, there's another side of that, which is your ego, right? Ego is like another level of that. Like, your ego is something that's very strong and very, very powerful, and ego will get you in a lot of trouble if that controls you. If your ego makes you think that you're better than people, if it makes you think that you're more important than people, if it makes you want to be condescending to people, if it makes you think that you can just hurt people and do whatever you want, that is a very dangerous and bad thing, and that will come back to bite you and haunt you at some point in your life. It definitely will. On the positive side of things, ego can be looked at in a way of, look, like, yeah, I have a little bit of an ego and an edge to myself. That's your edge. I have an edge. I am this person. I did accomplish these things. I am great at these certain things, okay? But that's where it stops. You got to keep it in check. Like, you can have ego about things, you can have confidence about things, you can have pride about things, but it needs to not overstep to the point where you are condescending and mean to people and trying to hurt people and getting over on people and being nefarious about things. That's the game you have to play, okay? But when you're in that zone and your ego is in a good spot and you're towing that line, it can be a very, very powerful asset to your life, to your success, to the things that you want to accomplish in your life, right? But the biggest thing with all this and pride and ego is being very conscious of it, being very mindful of it, and what Tiger Woods was saying there, learning from your mistakes, learning these lessons, making the changes that you need to, making the adjustments that you need to. And here's the thing, No one's perfect. You don't just have this stuff all together in your life. There's some days you might, and there's other days you won't, and there are the days you need to learn from and get better from, right? But being mindful of that, being mindful of these situations, being mindful of the things that could get you in trouble, that can get you hurt, being mindful of the things that you need to work on and get better at, being conscious of these things. That's how you use this all to your advantage. This is how you collectively get all of this stuff, pride, ego, the lessons that you go through in life, the mistakes that you've made, all these different things, and use it to your advantage, because you are completely in understanding of this stuff. You know the times that your pride and ego got the best of you. You know the times that you made the wrong decisions, did the wrong things, and you know the times that you did the right things too. And then you learn from it. You learn situational awareness. You understand this stuff. You apply it to your life to continue to get better. You sharpen your mindset. You sharpen all these different things, all these different tools that you have of getting better, learning, educating yourself, having great morals, having great virtues, and all these different things. And you continue to sharpen these tools in your shed to make yourself a better person. But it starts with your mind. It starts with your mindset. It starts with you being mindful of these things. It starts with you understanding these things fully and critiquing yourself and understanding yourself better by saying, hey, I should have done that better. I could have done this better. I should do this next time. I'm not going to do that again because that led to this. I'm going to do that again because that led to this. And you have to continually do that in your life, and especially with pride and ego, because you have to keep it in check. It could be a very negative thing, but it could be a very positive thing too when it's used the right way. It's very, very strong. So that is it, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this episode. It's something that I really like to talk about, something cool, because it's been, applied to various parts of my life, professionally, competitively, all these different things. So think about this. Listen, I love seeing comments. I love seeing questions. I love people interacting with each other. Part of the mindset movement is I want people to push each other, anyone who's a follower, anyone who comments, tell a good story, tell how this maybe applied to your life. I want to see responses. I want to see dialogue back and forth to each other. I want to hear your side of the story. I want to hear things that maybe I don't know. So let's interact. Let's communicate with each other. It's how we all get better, with proper communication, being there for each other. The mindset movement's all about that, getting better, helping other people. So thank you for joining. I'll see you guys next week, and that's it. See you later.